The "I earned it" trap keeping you poor without you noticing. It's a Thursday afternoon. Your manager calls you into his office. He smiles, hands you a piece of paper, and says those words you've been waiting to hear for 3 years. We're giving you a promotion. The new salary is $15,000 more a year. You drive home in silence, gripping the steering wheel. You feel something open up in your chest. The quiet panic you've carried every month is finally over. You tell yourself everything is going to be different now. So, you celebrate. You upgrade your apartment. You trade in your old car for something a little nicer. You buy a watch you've always wanted. You tell yourself, I earned it. And you did. But 6 months later, you sit at your kitchen table, paying bills. You look at the balance at the bottom of the screen. It looks exactly like it did before the raise. The same tightness, the same quiet math you've done your whole life, just with bigger numbers now. You are making more money than you ever have in your entire life. And somehow, you are standing in the exact same spot. Sit with that for a second. Same spot. More money. How is that even possible? You didn't waste it. You didn't gamble it away. You worked harder than ever. You got rewarded. And you spent it on things you genuinely wanted. You did everything right. Yet, your financial balance remained stubbornly unchanged. There's a reason for that. And it's darker than you think. Because somewhere, there is a receipt with your name on it. You have never seen it, but you've been paying it your whole life. And every raise you've ever gotten is printed on it, quietly, in a column you were never shown. By the end of this video, you'll finally read it. And you'll understand why the harder you climb, the more the ground rises with you. But first, let's talk about 3 words, the most expensive 3 words in your entire language. I earned it. Listen to how good they feel. You worked for 3 years. You waited. You stayed late. You navigated situations you found unpalatable. And finally, someone handed you a paper that said you mattered. Of course you want to celebrate. Of course you deserve something. Every part of you screams it. So you say it. I earned it. And you reach for the nicer car, the bigger apartment, the watch. But here's what nobody tells you. The moment you say, I earned it, to buy something with a monthly payment, you didn't reward yourself. You just handed your raise back to the system, quietly, with a smile on your face. Think about what actually happened. The bank gave Mark a 30-year mortgage. The dealership gave you a 5-year car loan. The store let you finance the watch. None of them did you a favor. They were waiting for your raise. They knew it was coming before you did. They've seen 1 million people get promoted. And they know exactly what people do next. People give it back. Walk back through that first month with me. The day you picked up the new car, you sat in the lot for a second, breathing in that smell, feeling like a different person. The day the watch arrived, you kept catching your own wrist in the mirror. The day you moved into the bigger place, you stood in the empty living room and felt, for one perfect evening, like you had finally arrived. Those were real feelings. I'm not going to pretend they weren't, but every one of those moments came with a piece of paper you signed. The feeling lasted a few weeks. The paper lasts for years. You bought the celebration on credit, and the credit outlived the joy by a very, very long time. This is the script we're all handed at birth. Work hard, get rewarded, and turn that reward into something you can show. A nicer thing, a bigger thing, something that says, to a world that wasn't even watching, look, I made it. And the second you sign for it, the raise is gone. Not spent, gone. Converted into a chain you'll carry for years. You think you bought a reward. You bought a new boss, a monthly one, and he never gives you a day off. And here's the cruelest part. The reward doesn't even last. That nicer apartment, for about 3 weeks, it feels incredible. You walk in and feel proud. Then it becomes just where you live. The watch. You notice it for a month. Then it's just the thing on your wrist. The car? The new smell fades. And one morning you realize it's just a car. Just a car you'll be paying for the next 5 years. The feeling expires. The payment doesn't. That's the trap inside the trap. You traded a permanent raise for a temporary high. And once the high is gone, your brain does the only thing it knows how to do. It starts looking for the next one. A nicer vacation. A better phone. Another upgrade. Because the first one didn't fill the hole. It never does. Now come back to that kitchen table. Come back to the balance that didn't move. Because here's where the invisible receipt finally shows itself. When the raise came, you didn't just spend the money. You did something far more dangerous. You moved your baseline. You quietly changed what the word normal means to you. Before the raise, normal was the small apartment and the old car. After the raise, normal became the nicer place and the newer car. And once something becomes normal, you can't go back. It stops feeling like a luxury. It starts feeling like the floor, like the minimum, like something you'd be ashamed to lose. So the new income didn't sit in your account, building your freedom. It got swallowed, absorbed, eaten alive by a definition of normal that expanded the exact moment your paycheck did. Your lifestyle inflated to match your salary, dollar for dollar, almost overnight, and you barely noticed it happen. That's the receipt. It was never tracking your money. It was tracking every single time you let the world raise your definition of enough. Every raise you ever got is, and next to each one, in a column you never saw, is the same word, over and over. Absorbed, absorbed, absorbed. You didn't get a raise. Your cage just got a slightly nicer view. The bars are the same. The lock is the same. The wall is just painted a more expensive color now. And be honest with yourself. This isn't the first time. Think back. You've gotten raises before. Smaller ones, maybe, but real. Where go? Can you even point to them? You can't, because they were absorbed too. Each one quietly lifted your baseline and then disappeared into it. The first raise made eating out feel normal. The next one made the nicer phone feel normal. The one after that made the vacation feel like something you were simply owed. None of them ever reached your future. They all got eaten on the way there. The receipt has been running your whole adult life. You just never asked to see the bottom of it. And the math behind it is brutally simple. The number that decides whether you're rich was never your salary. It was the gap. The difference between what comes in and goes out. That's the only number that builds freedom. And for most people, that gap stays exactly the same no matter how much they earn. $5,000 a year, $50,000, $500,000. The gap is zero, because every time the top number rises, they let the bottom number chase it. You can earn a fortune and keep nothing. You can earn very little and keep a fortune. The world has it backwards. It worships the size of the paycheck, but the paycheck was never the point. The point was always the part you refused to spend. That raise could have been a year of your life, 12 months where you didn't need anyone's permission, a buffer thick enough to walk away from a job that's killing you. The raise had the power to buy you time. Instead, it bought you a more expensive version of the same trap. You handed your freedom to a dealership and called it a celebration. Now imagine if you had kept them. Just the gaps, just the difference from every raise you ever got, left alone to grow in the dark. It wouldn't be a few $1,000s. Over working life, it would be the kind of number that ends arguments. The kind of number that lets you look your boss in the eye without a trace of fear. That money was always within your reach. It walked right past you, every single time, on its way to a showroom or a store counter. You didn't miss the opportunity once. You missed it on every raise, for years, and you smiled while it happened. So why do we do it? Why does almost everyone, the second they earn more, immediately spend more? Let me be honest with you, because this is the part that actually hurts. It's not really about the car, or the watch, or the apartment. It's about proof. When you got that raise, some deep, ancient part of you needed the world to see that something changed. You needed it to be real. You needed to walk into a room and have people know you're in. Because if nothing visible changed, then it didn't feel like it counted. I earned it isn't really about the thing. It's a quiet plea. It means, please, let this have mattered. And here's the trap built into being smart enough to avoid the trap. If you don't upgrade, nobody knows. You get the biggest raise of your life, and the next day, you look exactly the same. Same car, same apartment, same clothes. No one congratulates you. No one even notices. And you have to sit with that silence, knowing you did something huge that the world will never see. That's lonely, because we are wired to want the tribe to see us climb. Every instinct you have is begging you to show it, to make it visible, to turn the number into a thing other people can admire. And on some night, late, at that same kitchen table, the doubt comes. What's the point of earning more if I never let myself enjoy it? What am I even saving for? What if I die with a full account and an empty life? That's a real question. It deserves a real answer. The discipline isn't about never enjoying anything. It's about not handing your entire future to a store clerk in exchange for 3 weeks of feeling impressive. But that's exactly why most people fail at this. Not because they're stupid, because saying no to your own raise, while everyone around you says yes to theirs, is one of the loneliest things a person can do. You'll feel it at the dinner table. A relative asks what you did with the promotion, and you say, nothing, really. And you watch their face change. A flicker of confusion, maybe a little pity. They expected a story, a car, a trip, something to be happy for you about. And you have nothing to show them. Because the whole point was to have nothing to show. You can't explain that the empty hands are the victory, that the boring answer is the smartest thing you've ever done. So you just smile, and change the subject, and carry the truth alone, the way you'll carry it for years. So picture two people, 1 year from now, both got the same $15,000 raise. One celebrated, upgraded everything, and today sits at the kitchen table with a bigger paycheck and the exact same tightness in his chest, standing in the same spot, just paying more for the privilege. The other one did something quiet. He let the raise land in his account, and he didn't touch his life at all. Same car, same apartment, and that gap, that boring, invisible difference, went somewhere safe and started to grow. Nobody clapped for him either. But one of these two men is becoming free, and it isn't the one who's celebrated. His silence is patience. The other man's silence is a trap with a nicer paint job. And give it 5 years, 10. The gap between them stops being quiet. The man who kept his raises is the one who can take the call that says, "We're letting people go," without stomach dropping. He's the one who can say no to the project nobody wants. He's the one who walks a little slower, sleeps a little deeper, because nothing is hanging over him. The man who celebrated every raise is still at the same table, still doing the same tight math, still one bad month from panic. They earned the exact same money. They live in two completely different worlds. And the only thing that separated them was a decision they each made on a quiet Thursday, with a piece of paper in their hands. Now go back to that Thursday. The office, the smile, the piece of paper. "We're giving you a promotion." That moment was real. You did earn it. That part was never the lie. The lie was what came next. The lie was the celebration. The lie was the receipt you couldn't see, already waiting, already printing your raise into that quiet column marked "Absorb." But you can read it now. And once you can read it, it loses its power. The next time someone hands you that piece of paper, the next time that voice in your chest whispers, "I earned it," you'll know exactly what it's really asking you to do, to hand it back. And for the first time in your life, you'll be able to say no. Because here's the whole truth, the thing the world will never put on a billboard. To remain perpetually constrained, merely increase spending in step with every rise in income. Real wealth was never the raise. It was never the number at the top. Real wealth is the difference you keep, the part you let grow in the dark, while nobody's watching, while nobody's clapping. That quiet, invisible gap, that's the only thing that was ever going to set you free. So what about you? The last time you earned more, did you keep it, or did you hand it back? Be honest with yourself, and tell me in the comments. Because the answer is the difference between earning a fortune and actually owning your life. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, and the next time you say, "I earned it," make sure you actually keep it.